Michael Cohen, once Trump's fiercest critic, shocked everyone by backing Trump's claims against the media, and the CNN panel was left speechless. So, why the sudden shift? What does this mean for the media networks Trump is now suing? Stick with us as we dive into the explosive CNN exchange, the hidden story behind ABC's $15 million settlement, and how Trump's legal team is challenging pollsters like never before. You won't believe how deep this battle runs. Could this be a glimpse of what lies ahead? Donald Trump has once again shaken the media world, this time with a series of new lawsuits targeting major networks and prominent pollsters. His actions have sparked widespread debate, and even his former attorney, Michael Cohen, has chimed in with his perspective. Interestingly, Cohen's observations seem to align with Trump's claims. But what truly caught everyone off guard was a sharp, decisive moment from Scott Jennings during a CNN panel discussion.
The strategy is, I, Donald Trump, have enough money to just take this thing to court, whether I win or lose. It's disruptive to the journalists, it's disruptive to the news organization, it costs them a ton of money. And he's right about that.
Abby, it's more than just that. Not only does Donald Trump have money, he has money with the RNC, he has money with his super PACs, and his money has money. Look at all of the tech billionaires that are around him now. There is an indefinite amount of money. And I believe wholeheartedly that the Des Moines Register, very much like ABC Disney, is going to capitulate. And I believe that Donald Trump has actually figured out a way how to change the way that media deals with issues, whether it's...
Are you worried at all about this, Scott, just where it could go? Not just the Donald Trump of it all, but I mean, if he's creating precedent, it's for everybody.
Well, when you introduced, Michael, you used the word narratives, and I think one of the reasons Republicans are cheering on this muscular attitude from Trump and pushing back against some of this is because Republicans feel like constantly media organizations, especially in the throes of campaigns, work overtime to create false narratives that may shape the contours of the election. Look what happened. When this poll came out in Iowa, the entire English-speaking world was talking about the gold standard pollster, and Harris has this momentum, and ultimately what we were told was complete garbage. And if you talked to pollsters at the time, they would have told you, this is not real, this methodology is not good anymore. But that's not what people chose to run with because it fit what most people in the press wanted the narrative to be. So he's pushing back on that. I don't, frankly, have a problem with it. And if they capitulate, it's because they don't want to go through the discovery and what that might show.
You're a practitioner, Scott. I mean, it's a bad poll. A bad poll is a bad poll.
It's worse than a bad poll.
The Trump campaign pollster Tony Fabrizio at the time called it an outlier. That's a thing in the polling business. It was an outlier. And if you remember correctly, Donald Trump won the last election. So narrative be damned, he won.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I'm always skeptical of polls regardless. Like you and I would talk every day about the election, and we do rely on polls as indicators, but not determinators of what is going to happen in an election. I think that poll was allowed to be run, and whether you believed it or not, you have your own free will and volition to decide. I don't think anyone, it would have been, I think, negligent to not talk about it. And then it would have ended up being the case that maybe the poll was closer to reality. I just think that to say that someone put out a poll that didn't say, because I'm putting this out, now you have to vote. It was a data point. And to be sued over it.
His remarks made a lasting impact and will uncover why they matter as we delve deeper. A major twist in this story involves ABC News and its $15 million settlement with Donald Trump. This wasn't the outcome of a trial, it was a preemptive move by ABC and its parent company Disney to avoid the risks of a courtroom battle. The reasoning behind the settlement is simple. A trial could have exposed sensitive, potentially damaging information, something a media giant like ABC would want to avoid. This development sheds light on how media organizations operate when faced with legal challenges, but there's more to the story, and we're here to break through the media spin and bring you the real picture. And if you're as intrigued by these behind-the-scenes revelations as we are, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing. Now, similar pressure is mounting on entities like the Des Moines Register and pollster Selzer. Both are facing legal challenges and intense scrutiny from a former president determined to hold the media accountable. Trump has escalated his legal offensive against what he sees as a coordinated information war waged against him during his presidency and campaigns. A prime example is the media frenzy just days before the election, fueled by an Iowa poll showing Kamala Harris ahead by 3 points. Trump argues this wasn't a simple polling error, it was a deliberate effort to manipulate perceptions and distort the election outcome. This highlights a larger issue with modern polling. Many polls, despite minimal oversight, hold significant power in shaping public opinion, often cited repeatedly in the media. Trump specifically called out pollster Selzer on Truth Social, labeling her poll totally fake. He claims it undermined trust and fueled uncertainty during a critical election period, demanding a full investigation. Even after stepping down from the presidency, Trump's relentless pursuit of these allegations serves a larger purpose. By targeting pollsters and media outlets, he's signaling a shift in strategy, using litigation as a weapon against those he believes wronged him. It's a bold message to the media establishment. This time, he's not holding back. Delving into the lawsuit filed by Donald Trump's legal team reveals intricate strategies aimed at linking a pollster to alleged election interference. The argument is detailed and methodical. According to the lawsuit, the pollster's actions allegedly contributed to creating an illusion of inevitability for Democratic candidates. This in turn bolstered enthusiasm among Democratic voters while forcing Republican campaigns to redirect their time, energy, and financial resources to areas where they were already performing well. Additionally, the lawsuit claims that these manipulations deceived the public, fostering a false perception of stronger Democratic performance than the reality suggested. In essence, Trump appears to interpret these poll results as more than just errors. They represent, in his eyes, a deliberate attempt to sway voter sentiment and disrupt Republican efforts, particularly by energizing Democratic voters for Kamala Harris while pulling focus from critical Republican strategies. While the outcome of this lawsuit remains uncertain, one thing is clear. Trump is waging a strategic battle against the media and pollsters he deems complicit in undermining him. This isn't just about one lawsuit, it's a broader campaign of attrition. With his extensive resources, legal team, and influence, Trump seems intent on making the stakes too high for pollsters or media networks to engage in prolonged and costly legal disputes. His approach is a warning shot to the establishment, signaling that he's ready to challenge these entities head-on in ways few can afford to counter. This unease surrounding pollsters and media outlets has spread far and wide, casting doubt even on major networks like CBS and programs such as 60 Minutes. Critics have accused them of editing Kamala Harris's comments on the Middle Eastern conflict to make her statements appear more polished and coherent than they actually were. Donald Trump, however, has remained steadfast in his criticism of media networks and polling institutions, going so far as to voice his frustrations on Joe Rogan's podcast. He described these polls, often conducted with small sample sizes, as nothing more than tools designed to fuel the media narrative. Of course, opinions on this are likely to be divided, yet recent polling data has fueled growing skepticism about the industry. For instance, speculation around Joe Biden's viability if he remained in the race, and Kamala Harris's unexpected performance against Trump in the campaign's final moments have only deepened the distrust. This declining faith in pollsters mirrors the diminishing relevance and credibility of legacy media. As public confidence wanes, these institutions could find themselves facing a similar fate. What remains certain is that the legal battles Trump has initiated may mark the beginning of a larger reckoning for some of the most prominent names in mainstream media. What's your take on all of this? Are these developments a step toward accountability, or are they another layer of political theatre? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over.